I've just finished watching a disturbing video by Professor Judith Butler, a professor of gender studies in the United States, where she says Hamas and Hezbollah are social movements that are progressive, that are on the left, that are part of a global left. Now, I have to tell you, that is demonstrably false. It's about as convincing as vows of fidelity at a Trump family wedding ceremony. You know, for a start, you can be pro-Palestinian, you can support the cause of Palestinian statehood without supporting or endorsing Hamas and Hezbollah and their Iranian backwards. You can separate those two struggles. Secondly, we have to say that Judith Butler, like many on the progressive left in America and elsewhere, are effectively trying to create Hamas and Hezbollah in their own image. They're effectively projecting themselves onto these organizations, saying, well, they're against colonization, they're against Jewish capitalism, therefore they must be the same as us. But Hamas and Hezbollah are not variations on the theme of the global progressive left. I mean, they're a completely different orchestra playing a completely different tune. They're not similar in any way. They are Islamicist political organizations. And traditionally, they've been very hostile towards Marxism. Look at how the Taliban treated the Marxist regime in the late 1970s. Same with Iran. Look what Iran did to its own Marxist allies during the revolution that ousted the Shah. And in fact, there's been a lot of violence between Marxist groups and Hezbollah historically in Lebanon. Let me tell you a story I heard from a ex-FSB officer in a previous career I had in the military. FSB were the successors to the KGB. And you can verify parts of the story yourself, but he told me this. During the early 1980s, during the civil war in Lebanon, there was a group of Syrian Marxists who were shelling Hezbollah positions in Lebanon. So what Hezbollah did is they went out and they kidnapped 3 Soviet diplomats. They held them hostage and they killed one of them to show that they were serious. And they told the Soviet Union that unless they got the Syrian Marxists to stop shelling them, that they would kill the other 2 diplomats. Now, what the Soviet Union did in response was they went out and they found the brother of the leader of Hezbollah. They cut out his heart, they cut off his genitals, and they sent it to them. And they said, this is what we will do to every single member of your family if you harm those 2 diplomats. We don't care whether it takes a year, 10 years, 5 years, whatever it is, we will hunt down every single member of your family and kill them. Realizing they had bitten off a little bit more than they could chew, Hezbollah decided to release the Soviet diplomats that they still had in captivity. And then, I'm told, in somewhere like Geneva or Tehran or something, that there was meant to be a rapprochement between, you know, Hezbollah and the Soviets, because, you know, they both hated the West, and they got together, and a Soviet diplomat came into a room and where there was a Hezbollah official, and the Hezbollah official was very, very apologetic, and the Soviet diplomat just said one thing, "Tempati pani miash," which is, now you understand. And that is, don't mess with the Soviet Union. That, I think, sums up the relationship between political Islam and Marxist regimes. It's not a cozy relationship. They are not natural allies. They are not historical allies. Judith Butler and those like her simply have no idea what they're talking about. They don't understand the politics, the dynamics, the culture, the ambience, the history of the Middle East. So it really is a load of nonsense.
Will no one rid me of this meddlesome priest?